Zimbabwe's former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa on Tuesday morning rejected overtures from his former boss President Robert Mugabe to hold a meeting with him in order to discuss the present crisis engulfing the country. Instead, Mnangagwa said he would only return to the country when there was a guarantee of his security by the Defense Force and Zanu-PF, and urged that Mugabe respect the will of the people by stepping down. "To me, the voice of the people is the voice of God, and their lack of trust and confidence in the leadership of President Mugabe has been expressed." Several groups including students, general workers, opposition party members, vendors, religious organizations, and ordinary citizens led by our war veterans are party members in Zanu-PF civic society, and all races, colors and creeds in Zimbabwe clearly demonstrated without violence their insatiable desire to have the resignation of His Excellency Comrade Robert Gabriel Mugabe, he said. Mnangagwa said by stepping down Mugabe would at least move the country forward and preserve his legacy. He said in a telephone conversation with Mugabe he had told the president that there were only two options available to him. That is, to cooperate in the current negotiations with comrades from the defense forces for a peaceful resolution of this crisis which would result in the preservation of his legacy. Or if he continues to dig in defiance of the will of the people, he might suffer humiliation, because definitely the will of the people will prevail against one person. He requested me to come to State House, and Del replied that El was out of the country and that he had already removed my status as the vice president of the country. As such, I had no status. However, El can only come at the invitation of my colleagues in the party and of the defense forces when they feel that my security is guaranteed. Mugabe today faces yet another stern test to his rule as Zimbabwe's parliament reconvenes today after a 2-week break. The ruling Zanu-PF is expected to table a motion of impeachment. Zimbabwe's ousted Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa said on Tuesday that he was warned about a plan to eliminate him and was reluctant to return. Zanu-PF last night said at least 230 of its 260 MPs had said they would vote in support of the motion to impeach Mugabe. Mnangagwa said he was aware that Parliament intends to impeach the Mugabe and supported the move. Parliament is the ultimate expression of the will of the people outside an election, and in my view is expressing national sentiment by implementing the impeachment proceedings. Therefore, talks between myself and the President cannot supersede the expression and fundamental rights of fellow Zimbabweans, he said. The dismissal of Mugabe from the helm of Zanu-PF on Sunday was a dramatic turn of events which resurrected the political star of Mnangagwa, his former deputy and one-time ally. Until his recall by the Zanu-PF Central Committee to lead the party, it had seemed that 75-year-old Mnangagwa had been relegated to a political wilderness for the second time in 13 years. Situation in Zimbabwe confusing, Defense Minister. Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe had not expected the army to take to the streets, but that it would engage him if there were problems. Politics 6 hours ago. Back in 2004, Mnangagwa seemed assured of being Mugabe's anointed successor, but lost out at the 11th hour when a clause was introduced compelling the party's presidium to include a female candidate. As a result, Mnangagwa lost the post to Joyce Mujiru, widow of the late Solomon Mujiru, Zimbabwe's first army commander. Earlier this month, Mugabe fired Mnangagwa from government and the party for disloyalty and deceit amid claims by Mugabe that his deputy had been plotting to remove him from office using witchcraft. Patrick Chinamasa, the Zanu-PF Legal Affairs Secretary, on Sunday said the Central Committee had resolved to reinstate Mnangagwa into the party and nullify his expulsion. The Central Committee has appointed Mnangagwa in the interim as the first secretary of Zanu-PF pending ratification by the Extraordinary Congress on the 12th to 17th of next month, Chinamasa said. Chris Mutsvanwa, chairman of the War Veterans Association that has openly backed Mnangagwa, said he was a senior figure who commanded the respect of the military war veterans and the nation at large. We have looked at the persons who are there and we feel that Mnangagwa needs to be given a chance as well, Mutsvanwa said.